What is a fact? Is it fixed? Immutable? Certain in its existence and only awaiting discovery? Or might it be changed? Here we learned the answer, and thought that it might save us. They were used to command, to control, to own. But we soon discovered another use. When enough sat in thrall and were told to believe, their thoughts took on form. What was imagined became real. If 100 minds could wish away a wall or create a tree, what might 1,000 do? 10,000? More? Might we change the consensus and will the threat away? We resolved to send one into the sky where it might illuminate us all. Once placed, a sentence would be uttered. Make us safe. In this way, we would change the consensus. We would save.
But it didn't work.
But it never came to be. We sent a dozen of them skyward, but there was no way to maintain control, to direct the beam, to enthrall the world, to speak the words. Though this was strange and dangerous, what we tried next was worse.
That's not sounding very promising. Especially if so far, each iteration has led to a worse situation. So, in a manner of speaking, this one, which, if I recall correctly, they've not actually even tried, would be the most dangerous of them.
Our first instinct was to travel back, to change the past. But we could not find a way. But forward, we could look forward. And so here we sought to see beyond ourselves, and know what was to come. First we watched to learn if our work would succeed. But the answer was always the same. So we moved on to other things. But she remained. The one you call Minerva. In time, she too stopped looking, and instead began to speak. She called out across time, in the hopes that you might be saved. She hid messages where none might find them, save for you and those within this place.
Fascinating.
Tired of it. The cryptic warnings, the threats. Just tell us what you want!
But they are. We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Imagine trying to explain all this to a 2-year-old, to a grasshopper. When they said the will of the gods was unknowable, they meant it. Literally.
I killed her, you know. I killed Lucy.
It was the apple, son. It was Juno.
I saw what she was. What would happen if I let her live? I could have stopped myself. I mean, there was a force there. But I didn't have to. I chose to.
I didn't press the button for 15
Lucy was going to betray us
minutes!
and take the apple back to Abstergo. I saw the satellite launched. I saw them turn it on, and then it failed. Whatever's on the other side of that door, it benefits Juno. We need to be careful.
I see now. I now understand. Ah, this makes sense. It's, you know, all of the stuff that the people were talking about was something, you know, from their, you know, they assumed that if you were going to go and talk to all of the people, you'd have probably stayed and tried to figure out. Okay, is it down or this way? There I go. But yes, they'd assumed that if you were going to talk to everyone, you'd have already found the location of the power source and placed it. So, which way do I go? This looks like a way down, but it's not going to be a way back up. Yes, so that means that I'm lost. Yes, so that means that when it was like starting to say all this stuff about Lucy, yeah, it had assumed I'd already seen that because it's, you know, not even necessary at the power source at that point. So, okay, so these are the power sources. I now know what I'm looking for. So, I guess I saw the cutscene in the first place and assumed that that was activating the power source as opposed to just part of it.
I wonder what stories the temple will tell me today.
Okay, so that's either 1 or 2, I'm not completely sure.
I'm telling you, there's something down here.
Don't be daft.
I don't know, maybe they were sleeping or something and we woke them. Some kind of cryogenics? Or hibernation? I mean, how do we know what the hell they were doing down here?
They were working on a bunch of different solutions, but nothing worked. Just went from one to the next, and then... I don't know. They must have left at some point. After the end.
I wonder what the world would be like if they'd succeeded.
I'm more concerned about what it'll be like if we don't.
Salvation. They found a way. Too late for them, but not for you. Sealed to protect it. Though now it bars your way. Find the key. The past will tell.
Okay. Well, that's another power source activated. So let's do this, and all of this things now in. I see now why they. Yeah, here we go. This bit, which I originally got to, and there was a dead end. That was this. So it.
A new world approached. One that was dark and cold. It would consume us. For we were flesh, and flesh is frail. Though suits and shields might offer comfort, such adornments would not suffice. Not to save us all. So we sought to change what we were. In this manner, we might thrive in a world made poisonous. It was Aita who volunteered to see if it might be done. Aita, my husband, my love. In the end, it changed him, ruined him. He was made a prisoner of the machines.
The Animus.
The body might survive, but his mind became brittle to the touch. He begged me for release, for days, for weeks, for months.
It's just like an
I
Animus.
pleaded with him to give us time
He
to
looks like
find another
Desmond.
way. But there wasn't one. Not for him. Not for us.
I see why they wanted you to do them as they came, because this would have been incredibly dramatic if you had to wait for the next part. You know, with each solution getting more and more insane in a sense. Those definitely look like they can climb very easily. In fact, I think it wants us to... Wait, which way did I come from? Okay, that's down there, so looks like it came from over there. Can I go around? Yes, there we go. Okay. Okay, and now up. Up, 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 up. See what they're going to say next.
What is consciousness but a series of electrical impulses? And the body a vessel to hold these sparks. But it is weak. In time, it decays and crumbles into dust. We asked ourselves then, what if it might be replaced with something stronger, something better? So we forged a new vessel, one that might endure. It proved easy enough to enter.
But leaving.
But to leave required something more, something wrong. And so this too they abandoned. I wondered, though, were they right to turn away?
This one's got absolutely no demonstration. Those things which... Wait, is this where it just was? All of the lights have... Or were those already like that? Can't tell. Yeah, those ones down there still on. Did I miss what I was meant to be looking at?
We'll have plenty of time to talk when this is all over. We should focus on our work.
Okay. Has it got anything to say anywhere? No, I need to come back here.
Guess this is it.
Ah!
We're right behind you.
Ah, okay. That's fine. I'm fine with this. Okay, so you're going to do the slow dramatic walk thing. Very well. I guess I can join in with that. Got to get at the right speed though. Okay, can you just stay in? If you're going to do a cool walk, then the least you can do is stay in formation. Even though I have to be further ahead just because of the camera angles. And now my dad can't be seen. There we go, I think. What if we did it? Oh well. Cutscenes!
Moment of truth.
Right. Time for us to see what this miraculous we can save the world, but yeah. See this miraculous we can save the world, but not for us because of something or other taking too long, yada yada. And also potentially what on earth yeah, and potentially what on earth things that Rebecca believes to be down here. And the camera's just stopped responding completely, so it expects me to run like that.
Yes. Come.
I don't like the desperation of that. It sounds more
Here. At last. You know our story now. Of how we tried. Of how we failed. All our hopes extinguished. Save one. Your touch. A spark. A spark to save the world.
Yes,
Wait.
explain.
Do not touch the pedestal.
Minerva?
You. But how? You left. You destroyed the device.
Did you think there was only one?
What the hell is going on here?
You must not free her.
Free her?
Juno dwells within these walls, awaiting release.
That's what she was saying.
I will explain. While we worked to save the world, she sought instead to conquer it. She used our machines to set her plans in motion. Divination through numbers. There is a pattern to existence. To comprehend the calculations is to tame time. This was my focus. And so I built the eye to aid us. But she turned it towards her own ends. When we discovered her treachery, we put a stop to it. And then we left. But first we called to you, that you might try again. We thought it would be safe with her gone. Now I see we were deceived. She survived, she endured, and then she began to work. For centuries, Tinia and I walked the world, hoping to rekindle the spark of civilization. We shared what we knew as best we could. We were not the only ones, but for all the power we wrought, still death would claim us. But before it did, I would have one last look to know if we had succeeded.
That's how you're here now?
I had hoped you might find this place and finish our work. But it is too late. You and the Templars have squabbled over our refuse. You have wasted centuries, and so you have lost your chance. You cannot hope to stop the end now, Desmond. Only to survive.
She's lying! Only touch the pedestal and the world will be saved.
Better the world burn than she be loosed upon it.
Is that so? Show him then.
But he will not understand. It is complicated. It is...
Show me.
If you heed Minerva, the sun will have its
Is this going to be
way.
like a decision?
The ground will crack and spit fire into the skies. All the world will burn. But this does not end the world, merely heralds its arrival. Darkness follows. Then you emerge, resolving to lay a foundation that such a tragedy does not befall the world again. You will become a symbol to those who survive. Hope, knowledge, determination. You will inspire them to rebuild, to thrive once more. And as the world heals, so too will humanity. But you are just a man, frail and mortal. You pass from the world, leaving behind only a memory. A legacy. You will be remembered first as a hero, later as a legend, and in time, as a god. It is the cruelest fate to have written words that meant well, and see them made wicked and unwise. What was meant to encourage life, used instead to justify taking it. And so now you see that what was shall be again. So tell me, how is this better? She would sacrifice you, sacrifice the world, for no other reason than to deny me vindication.
They will enslave your kind, Desmond. Is this not why you fight? Is this not why you came here? To ensure more than just your race's future, but its freedom?
What future? What freedom? Billions dead and the whole cycle begun anew? This world has known nothing but heartache and horror since we left it.
Our gift to them, and you'd see it all returned.
Enough!
You must not do this.
Whatever Juno's planning, however terrible it might seem today, we'll find a way to stop it. But the alternative, what you want, there's no hope there.
If you free her, you'll be destroyed.
It will happen in an instant. There will be no pain.
You mustn't.
It's done, Minerva. The decision's made.
Then the consequences of this mistake are yours to live and die with.
You need to go. All of you. Now. Get as far away from here as you can.
Come with us. We'll find another way.
There isn't time.
Son.
You know it's true. It's already started. I need to do this now. So go. Go!
And there for a second I thought the game would actually give you a choice at something.
It's some sort of global aurora borealis. Never seen anything like this before. Eyewitnesses describe electrical storms and erratic displays of unusual weather. Residents are being asked to remain inside and wait for geological surveys are now reporting seismic activity throughout the Ring of Fire. Northeastern Canada is said to be experiencing the largest on record. Satellites and transformers are failing as the flare increases in intensity. Worldwide reports of blackouts seems to be receding. Residual seismic and volcanic activity is being reported, but nothing approaching earlier levels. Obviously, it'll be a while before experts are able to assess the full extent of the damage caused by today's event. But it appears the worst is behind us. We'll be sure to bring you more as this story develops.
It is done. The world is saved. You played your part well, Desmond. But now it's time that I played mine.
Well, that explains how they get a sequel. Yeah, and ultimately it's going to be a bigger threat. Ow. There's a wall behind me. And now we've just got the credits to go through, see if anything else comes up. So we can appreciate the tools programmers and physics programmers and sound programmers, game system support specialists, AI gameplay QC development testers, engine QC development testers, additional programming, art teams, and 3D animators for cinematics. Animation for gameplay, animators for gameplay, team design, character modelers, character riggers, you know, all the people who do all the stuff in making this game. And there's a lot of them. And there's the concept artists. Yeah, well, that was fun. Definitely was not an anticlimactic ending, although it's annoying. It's not a disappointing ending in terms of it being, disappointing in terms of how it ends, but yes, how it ends is disappointing, but not disappointing as in it's a bad ending, disappointing, or it's not up to expectations, disappointing. It's a that's not how I wanted this to end, disappointing. So, but hey, that's linear games for you, where the biggest decision you'll make is whether or not to complete the optional objectives. And the music stopped. But there's still more credits. Now they're listing the security and stuff. And it's been going on for a while, so my controller thought that... there we go. Music's coming back. Yeah. Although I don't feel much closure with Connor. Because it's... Well, technically it's the same sort of amount of closure as with Ezio and in both Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, and I'm going to keep bumping my head on this wall, aren't I? But yeah. Stuff. Such a long credit reel. What is there left to talk about? And that's another point, is how's the other Assassin's Creed... I'm now really interested to see how Assassin's Creed 4 goes about doing the stuff that they plan to go about doing, because obviously, at least what this does mean is there's the chance for there's the chance for there to be another relative, so all of these characters aren't going to be, inherently related to Desmond as, whoever the new character is that they do it with, unless they got his dad to do it, but in which it wouldn't be the same family, it would be the same family line, sorry. But, I don't know. But yeah. And there's not even a lovely background in, you know, at least with Assassin's Creed Revelations, they had a background suited. You know, they had the Animus Island, you know, going around flittering to different viewpoints, so you at least had something to look at. Here you've just got the text and background. Oh, and now it's going into the multiplayer designers and stuff. Yeah, the other thing with these is you get to points where it's like, oh, Assassin's Creed brand tribute to so on and so forth, and you start thinking, oh, the credits getting near the end, and then they go on for another 10 minutes. And I feel sorry for Minerva. Ultimately, I'd say she was the more helpful out of the two. Oh, and now it's listing all the voice actors in every language. This. Oh, it. Don't tap one out. So we'll stop this as soon as the Japanese is at the top. There. And okay. At least it doesn't pause the credits, it just hides them. I'm just going to see what other things there are that I could potentially do in here. So, that's going to pop up at the end of this. That's the... yeah. Huh. So... yes. So let's find a fort. You know, there's... oh, what was that? What? Okay, yeah, that's fun. That's going to be fun to do. I'm sure I thought I had. Oh no, double assassination. Achieve every page. Secret achievement. Without killing any. That would be awesome. I've not got any of those really. Ooh. That's... oh! Epilogue missions. Well, I might have to do these epilogue missions at some point, but... But for now, I'm going to stop it. We've got the credit roll. And we've got more testers. Oh, now we've got all the different people responsible for all the different versions. Hmm. Credit rolls are too long. Blah, blah, blah. Can't I just fast forward the credits now? Even Pokemon on the Game Boy let me do that. Press B to skip cinematic. And yet, it's like, yes, I understand having credits in the game because they have every single person who worked on it. However, at the same time, I do want to be able to skip it. Or have something to do whilst they're going on, as opposed to just listening to music and look at names and go, I'm really bored of looking at names. It's like, what was it? Vanquish had a little mini game at the end with the spaceship going back down to Earth, and all of the credits were like on asteroids coming towards you, and you had to shoot them as you were going down, and you know, it was all fun, and you also got all of the credits in there. And it all worked well together because it kept the person entertained whilst it was going on. You know, it was different from the main game, but it was, you know, a lot easier. It was a lovely wind down from the actual end of the game. But when it comes to isn't nearing the end yet. But when it comes to this, it's just black screen writing. It's like movies do it as well. But they normally have something after a while to get people to stay for long enough to look at the credits, or alternatively they have like the main credits with a lovely animation setup or something with visuals, and then when they get to the actual stuff, it's just over within a song or two most of the time. But this is just such a long credit length. And these are all the people who found out what people would like in a game. You know, I'm sure by this point they've listed every single person within Ubisoft, even if they didn't have anything to do with this game and they just, you know, worked for them. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the middle of all of this there's, you know, like the guy who delivered pizza to us on Wednesday the 3rd of April. That really wouldn't surprise me at this point. And it's now going to pop right at the end, in memory of Phil, the pizza man who delivered pizzas to us on so whatever date I said. You know, actually, I think, technically, I'd have more than a single episode just in the credits here. It's probably filled up 2 or 3 entire sections. And now here's all the thanks. These are just... yeah. Which normally indicates it's near the end. And powered by Adobe Flash. Yay! Flash games. Woohoo! The irony is, this is the bit that, you know, all of those credits above nobody cares about particularly at this point because it's taken so long. However, it's at this point when they start seeing the images pop up that they know it's more or less at the end of the credits, so they start actually reading them again. And before anybody who hears this says anything about it, don't put it in the middle just so people start reading and then it turns out that it's not the end. Now, how's it going to do this? I think this is probably going to be the closure that we're after. And now you can take the hatchet out. Hooray! Achilles would be so happy. I see what he's doing. Those grass effects. Okay, and now I'm just here. Okay, yeah, he was because he said right when he put that in that it was tradition that when they went to war they'd stick a tomahawk in a tree and they wouldn't remove it until it was done. And then as he goes to remove it, he looked around and what do you know, tree, 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 tree. You know, just completely surrounded by trees. And he put it in a post. But anyways, that has been Assassin's Creed 3 with me, the boring guy who, you know, talks to himself, apparently. So, with that, and I still did not manage to get Charles Lee's coat, although I managed to get this one which sort of will do. So anyways, with that, I say goodbye.